So I feel like my unicorn power, secret power is my ability to solve problems. I think there are times where your phone is good enough, where it does the job, but if you want something really refined and at that next level, obviously you're gonna go the professional route, no doubt.
Yeah. Hey everybody, I'm Jimmy Owens. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Unicorn. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And if you work at a place that you like a lot, or if you own your own business, be sure to leave a comment, the name of the business and what the business does. We'd like to highlight you for free in our upcoming episodes. So leave a comment, do that, and let's get to it. Here we go. All right, our guest today is Kelsi Thompson with White Moose Studios and Kelsey Lane Photo. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you here. I got some questions for you real quick.
Okay.
Why are you a unicorn?
Okay, so that's the question. So I feel like my unicorn power, secret power is my ability to solve problems. I feel like life is full of problems, and when you can just pause, take a step back, evaluate what's going on, and figure out how to solve it, you know, life goes a lot easier. So I feel like that is my unicorn power. Was that the question?
Yeah, that's it. I was just thinking you're a Lady MacGyver. So I was trying to think of a Lady MacGyver name.
Oh yeah.
I was totally. Anyways.
I like Lady MacGyver.
Side note.
That's not offensive.
Side note. Yeah. So not everyone knows what you do, but if your photography studio, the one that everyone rents, or you have more than one, could say some, like if it could talk, what would it say?
Holy crap. I think that would be it. No, we have a lot of unique clients that come through the studios, and I think
artists, right?
Yeah, all kinds of different artists. Everything from we have a ton of boudoir clients that come through, and so some sexy lingerie stuff.
Maybe it's ooh la la.
Ooh la la, yeah. But we have some interesting music videos that come through. We have churches that come through. We have boutiques that come through. Yep. But I think people, when they get the camera out and get it rolling, crap happens. And so I think, oh crap would be an appropriate expression.
There you go. Yeah, I like it. Well, then you even have like business photography, like headshots coming through. You have family stuff coming through. And then you said boutique. So is that like products? Because I know that some people take product. Like,
yeah. So that's actually a huge one. A lot of people think we only serve photographers. And we actually serve a ton of other small business owners that are creating content on their phones. Okay. So it might be content creators that are using just creating reels for other businesses. Okay. Or even boutique owners that have seasonal inventory that they have to shoot all the time. So
yeah. So you have a couple. We're not even sticking to the questions, but we're going to break protocol. You have a couple different studios that people can rent. The one that we're really close to today is just down the hall from our company, DesignTunnel, and that's how we get to know each other. Yep. And so I just figured I would throw that out there. So if you're going to go see White Moose Studios, stop in to see us. If you're going to come see us, go see them. So
absolutely.
anyways, check us out later online. All right, here we go. Questions for you. A lot of advice. People always need advice, and that's what YouTube's all about. Advice for aspiring photographers. What you got?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and one we get asked a lot. We serve, at White Moose, we serve a lot of amateur photographers along with experienced photographers too, and so this is a hot question. So to me, it's always run your numbers. Don't just start shooting. Well, you might just start shooting because you got a camera for Christmas and you're maybe shooting your dog or your kids and you're having fun, and that's all great. But until you start to know your numbers, once you start charging people money and figuring out your cost of doing business, none of that matters. If your goal is to start a photography business to be profitable, know your numbers.
Okay. Yeah. So you might even want to figure out if it's going to be like your side gig, if it's a passion, or if it's going to be your...
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, and that's a good point. Yeah. Like, know your purpose, and maybe before you start, because it's okay to do photography and not want to be profitable. But most of the time, if you're an aspiring photographer, an aspiring professional photographer, your goal is to make money. Yeah. And so I know I only say that my first several years of business, I made a decent amount of money, and I spent all of it on gear, which was really fun. But at the end of the day, like, that didn't feed my family. And I just had a whole lot of gear that I probably didn't need. So it looked great on taxes. but I literally blew everything that I made. So if you have a goal of being in business and not having anything to show for it, then
don't know your numbers.
Yeah, don't know your numbers. Exactly. Been there, done that.
What about advice for people renting your spaces? Right? How many spaces do you have as of today, as of this recording? You can always go on our website and check out the spaces. But
yeah. So we have 4 studios here in the metro, in the OKC metro.
Yep.
And I'm so sorry. Tell me your question again.
I forgot it. I'm just
joking.
No. Advice for people renting your spaces.
Oh, yeah. So if you're renting the space, you're paying $75 an hour as of this recording. We don't anticipate that changing. So it's not cheap. So make the most of your time there. Like, go in with a game plan. And I'm big on this on all things in life, but have a game plan. Map out your time. Like, how long is it going to take you to set up? Do you have models that are changing clothes? Time it. Like, how long does that take? If you do have multiple clothing options, like, have them ready to go, have them steamed, know the order you're shooting them. So just having that game plan.
Yep. Yeah, I totally get that. Advice for a company hiring a photographer.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. I think knowing what you want before you approach your photographer is helpful.
Maybe come in with examples too. I always find that helpful.
Yeah,
like if you kind of like something, or like my favorite is also show me what you don't like.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can't show you what they like, but they have a bunch of stuff that they don't like.
Yes. No, that's brilliant. And actually, I'm gonna
brilliant.
I was gonna say I'm gonna steal that because I don't do that. Yeah. But what a lot of times people are like, I need some new headshots, and I say like, well, where are they going? Why do you need a new headshot? And people will come in and they paint this picture like it's going on their company website, when in reality it's for their Tinder profile. And it's like, tell me in advance, like, when you know your purpose and what you want to accomplish with that headshot, like where are we using it? Are we trying, like, who's your ideal audience? Like, that's going to dictate what you wear, how we light it, where we shoot it, all those good things.
Back. So let's say I'm a business, I'm looking for a photographer. What advice do you have for me?
Yeah. So I'm going to say, know where you want your photos to go.
Okay.
I mean, ultimately, the end result, like, what do we need to accomplish with the photos?
Okay. But then, like, qualities in a photographer so what are the qualities in a photographer if I'm a business, right?
Sure.
Like, they like need to know how long they've been doing it, look at their work, maybe look at the style, like
that's fair.
What kind of things do that business owner or marketing department or individual, like, they need business photos. Like, how do I know I have the right photographer for my business? Yeah,
that's a great question. I think starting with looking at the photographer's existing portfolio, and are they already capturing work that's similar to what you like? I think that's a really great place to start. I am a big fan that it doesn't really matter how long you've been in business. I do think with time, certainly you're gonna gain some knowledge from that photographer, that, some expertise that you can't help but have if you've been in business for 2 decades. Yeah. But I don't think the time matters as much, as long as, like, the photographer can in fact produce what you're wanting them to produce, and have examples of that already on their website. So
advice for an individual hiring a photographer, probably exactly the same.
Yeah, super similar. Like, look at their website. I feel like I have someone come to me and say, like, hey, can you, actually it was an actor. I don't do a ton of actor headshots. I'm open to it, but they're like, I want to do this really cool, colorful background. And I'm like, I mostly shoot all white backgrounds. Have you seen any of my work? I don't know how to accomplish this for you. Like, why, why?
Yeah.
Like, why are you talking to me? Like, I don't want to.
That's why I want to serve you well. Because I feel like
a
business, it depends on the type of business. Like, a business corporate is different than a family individual or an individual. It depends on where it's going to go. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, maybe that's common sense for some, but unfortunately, I don't think it is in 2023. Common sense is pretty
out the window.
Yeah, it's pretty low. Good luck, guys. All right. Let's see here. Let's see where we're at. Man, it looks like we got to take a few moments and hear from our sponsor.
Okay, let's hear it.
right. 2 other questions I have for us on the show is life hack and business hack. What kind of business hack do you have?
Okay, so mine are kind of closely related. I'm obsessed with systems.
Okay.
Everything needs to be systemized. The more you can systemize, the more you can automate, and the more time you can have, the less brain power, the more like mental space you have. So systems.
Okay, and this was before AI, just to be clear.
Oh yeah. So I feel like.
How long have you had the studios? How long have you been doing photography?
Yeah. Okay, so I have been doing photography since 2009. Not going to try to do math on the spot.
Okay, that's fine.
Over a decade.
2009.
Yeah. And then the studios have been open for about 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
You happy that you did it?
Oh yeah. Wouldn't change anything.
Was that the best thing that you've done?
I was going to say that's false. I would change a lot of things.
Okay.
But it with no regrets in opening the studios.
Okay. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. I wouldn't change anything. You're like, wait a second, back step.
Just kidding.
There's a lot I would change,
Yes.
but learned a lot from it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how do you, what kind of business things are you systemizing? I kind of know that, but our audience doesn't, and I'm sure you're going to say some things that I don't know, so I'm ready to learn.
Sure. So on the photography side, so every single client, whether they reach out to me on Instagram or text message or, passing down the hallway or whatever, like if someone needs headshots from me, I ask them, I'm dyslexic, have lots of typos, lots of struggles with getting emails correct. And so I make them go to my website.
That's why she's a really good artist.
But I make them type it in on my website and fill out the form. So everything is going to one place to start out. And that puts them into my software where I have a workflow and a checklist for every single client. And at first I was like, I don't want to do that. It feels so impersonal. But the reality is that they get way better service, and I don't drop any balls on them when they go through my workflow of steps. And so as soon as they fill out that website, they get an email. You're going to get some advice on what to wear, whether you hire me or not. You get this awesome headshot prep guide. And then, just from start to finish, taking care of my clients really, really well. And so that's a perfect example of an automated system that creates an amazing client experience and people love. So 7 days before your shoot, you're going to get a reminder. Think about your skin. We might want to exfoliate. 3 days out, here's the location. Do you have your wardrobe ready? Have we steamed everything? And so,
automated.
Yeah, all automated. And
looks like she has a team of 5.
It does, and I don't. I'm definitely a one-man show on the photography side.
Yeah.
But on the
that's
studio,
why you're on the show, right?
Yeah,
she's special. Everyone on the show is special. So
unicorn.
everybody's got actually, it doesn't matter if you're on the show or not. Everybody's so different that everybody in this world has something unique that they could talk about and be on the show. Totally
really agree.
So just so happens she's down the hall from us.
Which we love. We love. On the studio side, and I feel like this is where it starts to transfer to some of the personal things. We have different team members that come through to care for the studio and make sure they're up and running. And so there's a checklist, that every single team member has to go through. And it's similar for each studio. So as we open more studios, it's already in place. The same set of steps to open and close the studio happen every single time.
Why the name White Moose, I have to ask.
Yeah, so I don't have a really fun answer. I'm really bummed. I need to come up with a good story.
Yeah,
and
it's like you lived in Alaska or something.
No. So we actually started out with a different studio name, and we received a dirty letter saying you have to change your name.
Okay. Was it a local company or was it a?
It was a company out of Dallas.
Okay. Well, we don't have to say their name. We can't.
Well, yeah, no, it's all good.
Unless they
it's
put the name and what they do in the comments of the show.
Oh yeah. No. So honestly, in hindsight, I don't think I had to change my name. After talking to our attorney, when we started, we had no money. We were so poor and scared and as many business owners when they start out. Anyway, so we just were we don't even love this name. Let's just change it. It's no harm, no foul. So
yeah, okay. Who came up with the name White Moose?
So we wanted white because our spaces.
Who's we?
My husband and I.
Okay.
Yeah. That's fair. We knew that we wanted the word white in the name because most of our spaces have these all white areas.
Like shooting on white backdrops.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yep. And then moose. I liked antlers a lot. like just the appearance.
Do you have any hanging in your house?
No. Well, no, that's a lie. We do. Okay. My husband hunts. I am not a hunter. I just think they're unique in their shape.
Yeah.
But the moose is the largest in the deer family.
Yeah.
And so we ended up, like, our intention is to grow the studio into multiple locations, multiple states. And so we...
To a big moose.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we're gonna go beyond Oklahoma?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, no doubt. That's
nice.
Definitely in the works.
Okay.
Tulsa, we're coming for you.
Okay, get ready.
And then probably Kansas City and Dallas area.
Okay, cool. Life hacks? I know you said systems, but I'm curious how these systems play into the life hacks.
Okay, so that's probably my favorite thing, like when I'm talking to women business owners in particular, just because that's what I relate to the most for obvious reasons.
Happy to have you on the show.
Yeah.
Lucky, I guess.
Well, no.
I'm just joking.
So systems in our daily lives obviously make everything a whole lot easier. So for me, this is a silly example, but like changing my razor head, like it would be willy-nilly and it was never like intentional. And I'm like, I don't know when I changed it. And I'm kind of frugal by nature, so I don't want to change it like prematurely, but you also don't want a dull razor. And so I just have a system in place that fits my life and how often I shave for when I change my razor.
Okay.
And I do things like quarterly haircuts. So a lot of times, like at the beginning of a new quarter, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z,
Razor change, haircut.
That's not quarterly, but haircuts are quarterly, and so
funny.
I have these things that happen in this system.
So
I don't
your
have to think
husband's
about
a
it.
robot.
No,
That's
I will say
joking.
he may fight my systems. He's like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
So your
that is
systems
really
have to work
unique
for
for
you.
an artist.
Yeah, no, it is. I'm definitely, I am an artist. I do create beautiful images for people, but I'm very systematic.
But also for our audience, she designs the spaces. So in those spaces, there's different like couches, chairs, all kinds of stuff that you can just go in and take photographs on or even video. So yeah, that's why I say you're an artist, right? You have a vision, you create it, and some of the other stuff that you do. But
life hack, systemize everything.
Systemize everything. What else do you have systemized in your
So I'll
life?
tell you what I'm getting ready to figure out a system. So I am a semi-new mom. I have a 1 and 3-year-old, and getting from the car to inside of the
3
house.
years new.
Yeah, it's not that
That's
new.
a lot.
But they both go to school,
Yeah.
and getting all of their crap from the car after school into the house is just a disaster. And shoes are all the way at the other side of the house. And really, I want the shoes to come off like right when we walk in the door. And so I'm going to figure out a system for...
Yeah, no shoes. Easy.
Well, I'm down for that. But honestly, we need our shoes to drop. Like, we need a place to put shoes when we walk in the door.
Yeah.
Not all the way across the house.
I got a life hack for you.
Okay, let's hear
So
it.
like we had this shelf. It was just a shelf. One of the shelves that like the baby's gonna pull this shelf over. It's so like that one.
Okay, got it.
I think it was black, and so we turned it on its side, put a 2x4 under it, and now it's on the ground, and you put your shoe bins in it.
Yeah.
There you go. Anyway,
like
since
that.
you're talking, that we have a shoe bin thing, and then it works as a bench, so you can sit on it. It's really, it worked out. So we just kind
I'm
of
gonna steal that.
repurposed.
I'm going to steal
Yeah,
that.
go find an old shelf and turn it into a shoe bin.
I like
Turn
that.
it on its side.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I didn't come up with that, but all right. Anything else on that? I could talk about this stuff all day.
I was going to say, I could too. I could talk
Yeah.
about systems and how to make your life easier and figure those things out. Professional organizers are one of my favorite accounts to follow because so many things that they do systemizing people's lives.
Got any of your favorite ones that you could share? So maybe some people on the show could go.
Absolutely.
Which ones?
Be Neat.
Be Neat.
Be Neat.
Okay.
B-E, like a beehive. Their logo's real cute.
So
It's a
B-E-E?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 2 E's.
I think it's Be Neat and Google Be Neat. She's big. She's
Okay.
like one of the biggest local ones, but she has a
Here
huge
in
account.
Oklahoma?
Here in Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
She helps people like literally move their entire lives like to new states and unpacks their house and sets it up in a way that makes super logical sense. Asks
does
them
feel
their
good to-
lifestyle and how they flow, but it works in your business too.
Yeah. Interesting. Very cool. Any other ones you want to share, or is that your favorite?
That's my favorite.
Okay. All right. So why do photographers rent your space?
So photographers rent my space. It makes a lot of sense for them to have a space in Oklahoma in particular, because the weather's unpredictable, where they can come in and have a beautiful space with easy to use lighting, AKA the windows.
Usually natural. Bring your own lights.
Natural lighting.
Bring your own lights.
But all of them have huge windows, and so they're used to being able to just walk in, like they would shoot outside and sit on a beautiful sofa with no Oklahoma wind ruining their photos, and come in and shoot. And it makes a lot of sense for them as opposed to having their own space where they might have $2,000 to $3,000 in monthly overhead. No need for that. Similar with people hiring you for a podcast, like don't spend all the money on the equipment and setting it up yourself. Save that money. Let the experts create a space for you to shoot, and then you come in and just rent it by the hour.
Yeah, so you do what you're good at.
Yep, and you only have to pay when you use it.
Yeah.
And so it's really nice. Like if you have a slow month and you only have 1 or 2 sessions, use it once or twice. If you have a busy month, like in the Christmas times, like use it a whole bunch. Great.
Yeah.
But only pay when you want to play.
Yeah, nice. So why do people pay photographers when they could be using their smartphones? I mean, so the question is smartphone technology, it keeps getting better and better, and we've seen some really good stuff, and there are some people are becoming really good with their phones and with the filters and stuff.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I know maybe some of the answers to this, but like, because not everybody is good with their phone, and anyways, they don't have the eye. But so why are people still hiring photographers when we have all these cameras at our hands? Absolutely.
So another great question, and this is maybe an unpopular opinion, being a photographer, but I don't think you actually always need to hire a professional. I think there are times where your phone is good enough, where it does the job, but what a professional is going to bring to you is posing that's flattering,
an angle you can't get.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. And having someone look at you, I mean, like if you're in selfie mode, like, you can like check yourself out, but like there's only so far your arms will reach, to get the shot. But yeah, I don't think it's always necessary, but if you want something really refined and at that next level, obviously you're going to go the professional route, no doubt.
Yeah. And I think something else that comes with it is, I mean, if your photographer is not going to be precise, like the precision is a big deal,
no doubt.
And then something I've learned from the video side, and everybody has a good side, like everybody has a bad angle, you know what I mean?
No doubt.
So
well, and posing is huge. I think it's super I've studied posing for the last 15 years, and even in a headshot, when you're waist up, it still shows in how your shoulders are posed and how you move. It can slim your entire neck. It can remove your third chin. It can, like it can really open your eyes, make your eyes pop. And those are things that only come with time and expertise and like studying body language.
Cool. Do you have like a favorite, this is a photographer question, a favorite like f-stop or a favorite lens that you like to use for a photographer?
I live on my 85 millimeter and I shoot at 2.0, like I would say 90% of the time. And so if you're not a photo person, that just means that really beautiful like blurry background that really allows your subject to stand out.
Yep.
It also hides any imperfections in the background, so that's pretty nice.
Make a really not so pretty place look.
Exactly.
Can't even tell.
Exactly.
Cool. So Cliff Notes. I know what Cliff Notes are. You know what Cliff Notes are?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Cliff Notes.
Lived on some Cliff Notes in high school.
If you don't know what Cliff Notes are, look them up. And anyway, so
does that date us? Does
probably,
that make us old?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Actually, that means that I didn't study for a test very well.
That's fair.
And that I bought Cliff Notes is what it means.
We're maybe exposing ourselves a little bit here. I just didn't know if Cliff Notes were still a thing, like with the internet,
I don't know. Joe, are they? Do you know?
Do we know? Do you know what Cliff Notes
He says they are. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. He's like, oh, yeah. All right. Well, I guess Jimmy did go to college. How'd you get to where you're at today, the Cliff Note version?
Sure. I do believe it was by the grace of God on a lot of things. I think I got lucky or happened to have someone guiding my steps. I grew up small town girl, was not headed to college. I was involved in everything so I could get out of school a lot. And some people call that leadership.
Okay.
Because I was active in a lot of organizations. And so I had a very full resume in my little tiny town school. Anyway, so I landed a full ride scholarship at UCO accidentally and was exposed to some people that just introduced me to these new ideas and concepts and ways of doing life that was just different than what I knew growing up.
Okay.
And just one or two connections and being exposed to ideas, and I feel like the rest is history.
So did you always take photographs?
So I always, my grandmother always loved photography. My dad loved photography, and so I was around cameras. But for me, cameras were never like, oh, I love creating beautiful art. It was truly like a way to make money.
Okay.
I ended up working for an organization that needed some photos done, and they bought a camera, and I picked it up, and I realized not only could I shoot for the school, and in hindsight, this was illegal, and I didn't know it, but I used government equipment to make money. Don't tell anyone.
It's going to be our new short.
But it was just like, people need good photos, and I wanted to figure out how I can give them good photos and how I can take their money.
Yeah.
So it was just this mutually beneficial trade. And I was like, I like mutually beneficial trades.
Yeah.
And
And using tax dollars to
I mean,
do that.
potato,
Come on.
potato. Details.
Go get that gavel out of the other room. I'm going to try her right
It feels
now.
like that now all of a sudden.
Yeah. So have you ever taken any or done any photography that was like on film? Have you ever done that?
I've
never done
in
that
a
either.
professional or serious way.
I've never done that either, but the closest I've gotten, Polaroid.
Oh yeah.
Right. Just Polaroid, but not
as a wedding guest.
but
when it was
not like
on
buying I guess I did a long time ago. We did used to buy rolls of film and put it in the camera that would do an auto.
Yeah, I was gonna say now
So-
we're definitely dating ourselves, and I did
But-
have that. Like in middle school,
Yeah.
for sure I shot on film,
Yeah.
and we would take it and have it developed. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. I guess I had too, but I guess what I'm thinking about is like never done like headshots or anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like getting to like know about the film speed and all that stuff. So
I'm intrigued by that, and I think as an ode to my craft, like it's probably important that I do that at some point. But I am in business to make money, and I like to make money, and at this point, I can't see that being beneficial. So it would be a hobby sort of.
she doesn't want to go use the pin light in the film. she's too good for that.
No, it seems
I'm just joking. All right.
efficiency. You know,
Efficiency. Yeah, take as many as you want, pick the good one, move on.
exactly.
Yeah. What actions would you like our viewers to take? Like, you want them to reach out to White Moose Studios?
Yeah.
Right,
It would be
you're-
awesome.
you're-
Instagram following, I feel like is king right now for me. So I would love Kelsi Lane Photo and White Moose Studios are the Instagram handles. So
Okay.
if you'd reach out and give me a follow, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But also leave a comment here.
Yeah.
Most importantly,
there you
leave
go.
a comment
Ask her
here.
a question. See if we can get to it. We have so many.
That's awesome.
And then, I don't know if there was anything else, but anything else that you want to add for our viewers to know?
I feel like
Show.
if you're starting a business, like think about the end goal in mind. Like, where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? Like, what is it that you want to accomplish? Like, why are you starting the business? I feel like that answering that question before you get too far down the road will serve you well.
Yeah. Do you want anyone to reach out to you about any business questions they have
No,
or not?
don't talk to me.
Don't call her.
Don't call me. I'm unavailable. I'm just kidding. No, I would love that. I love
Yeah.
having conversations with business owners.
Yeah.
And that's something at White Moose that people are craving connection. And so like
Yeah.
in this upcoming year, we're going to have some mingling of minds with business owners. So be on
Okay.
the lookout for that.
Cool. Well, I'll just go wait in the hallway and wait, I guess. So, all right, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Good stuff.